Hello Lewisburg, I hope everybody is well, staying at home. I'm Deirdre and I'm going to show you how to make harvest knots. Harvest knots are traditionally made at Lunacy during harvest time. And what you need to make a harvest knot is, I've prepared my pieces of twine, which are cut to about 20 centimetres, some ribbon, if you have some it's nice to decorate it, twine, which I've my ball of twine here, and a scissors. Now I'm going to make my harvest knot with this lovely wheat straw that I have, which is the traditional way to make them. But of course not everybody is going to have that, so you can just as easily make the harvest knot with rushes. I'm going to demonstrate with the wheat straw. So you take 4 strands and you want to try and have them equal length. So you need to get a piece of twine and fold a knot at the bottom here, leaving the ears, as they're called, pointing downwards. So you want to fold this knot really tight because we're going to be plaiting this. Now, if you do have this lovely wheat straw, you need to soak it overnight in water because you need to make it malleable because you're going to make it into a plait and bend it. So I've got that folded in a nice tight knot now. So I've got my ears hanging at the bottom here, and then we want to split up these pieces into a compass. So we've got north, south, east and west. And to make these, we're going to fold these over into a plait. So first of all, I'm going to take this piece here facing towards me, which we'll call south, and bring it up to the north. Then we're taking north and we're bringing that south. We're bringing east to west and west to east. And you're going to continue that pattern. Now when you're making the harvest knot, try to remember I'm always folding south to north and I'm folding it to the right. And then I'm folding north to south, back to the left, east to west on top and west to east on the bottom. Try to remember to do that. If you can't remember that, it's not the end of the world. It's just important to always go south to north, north to south, east to west, west to east. So north, south, east, west. And try not to hit yourself in the head as you're doing it. So traditionally these were made during Lunacy and they were made for boys to give to girls. So there would generally be a big festive dance at harvest time. And boys would make these and they would give them to girls and the girls would pin them all onto their dresses. And the girls would probably have several of these knots pinned onto their dresses. So when they'd go to the harvest knot, if a boy asked them up to dance, he would have the knot. She would be wearing the knot that he would have made for her. Now, if she was wearing several knots, if she decided, I don't really want to step out with this boy, she'd give him back the knot. Sounds a bit cruel, doesn't it? But that's what happened. And then whatever knot she was left with, that was the boy that she was stepping out with, as they said in the day, or courting. They were sometimes seen as like a symbol of engagement as well. So I'm going to just show you how it should be looking now. So you should have something that looks like this. It's like a 4-strand plait. And you continue to carry out this process. So harvest time, of course, was very important. And of course, we've got Reek Sunday here, which is very popular every year. We've got thousands of pilgrims that come to climb Croagh Patrick. And there's a very ancient legend associated with Lunacy. Lunacy, of course, was the god of light, and you need light to grow crops. So Lunacy was, the god Lu was very important during Lunacy. And there was a legend that tells of Crum Dubh, Crum Dubh, obviously Dubh being the dark. He was replaced as a pagan king by Lunacy during harvest time. Now, if anybody's ever been in the National Museum and seen the Corlick head, this is a stone head which has 3 faces on it. It said that Crum Dubh would have been buried and that represented his head, which was left above ground, while Lu replaced him for 3 days over the harvest time. Now, of course, people would have climbed Croagh Patrick prior to Christianity, because they always climbed hilltops where they could overlook their land and see their crops and see the beautiful view of the countryside. So this is a nice long harvest knot that we're making here today. The longer you make them, the nicer you can get the plait, and you can get the nice love knot in it as well. So again, I hope everybody's keeping well in Louisburgh and you're all staying at home. It's very important that we stay at home, and we're all supporting one another by participating in this community television, and it's a wonderful thing for the community. So we've got a nice long strand here. Generally you will continue until you're at the end of the straw, but I'm just about at the end of this piece here. And when you've got this done, you can pull it tight. You can pull it nice and tight because I've wetted it and nice and malleable. And then you need to get your next piece of string and tie a really tight knot around that again. As tight as you can tie it. You won't break the straw once it's been soaking in the water overnight. So then you cut these strands on the end, and you want to do a loop then. So in order to do the loop, you fold it around and you place the ends in a knot like so. And then you want to get the nice love loop, or the love knot, like so. So you can see the little love knot there now. And the girls would pin that onto their dresses, and you tie that again with another piece of string. So a good few pieces of string for this one. And if you have some ribbon, it's lovely to decorate it, but don't worry if you don't, because you can always decorate it later. A lot of these supplies people may not have at the moment, but there's lots of lovely craft techniques going on Louisburgh TV at the moment with knitting and crafting, and it's lovely to see. So now we've got all these pieces tied up with the knots, and very quickly I'm going to put a lovely blue bow on it. Now you can cut off all those pieces of twine as well to make it look nice and neat. And a little tip as well is the ribbon actually hides those pieces as well. So you've got your lovely blue bow on it, and I'm going to cut off the excess pieces of twine. And so you have your lovely harvest knot. Now, as I said, if you don't have the wheat straw, you can just as easily make this with your rushes. So thanks everybody, and remember, stay at home.